What up? What up?
One day, man. One day we're gonna start.
Welcome to the midnight hour.
What day you got here?
It's before midnight, goddamn it. So we good.
You're right. You're right. It is before midnight.
It's still Monday.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Carpet for Men podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with the drink of the day.
Yo, we didn't even go over your version of this real quick. We did a Manhattan.
Yeah, it's kind of like this is my first time I ever had a Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's basically an old fashioned with vermouth.
Yeah. Would you do half an ounce of the vermouth?
No, an ounce, so 2 in 1.
So 2 in 1, yeah. Okay, so in the glass, you don't have to even do it in a shaker. In a glass, right, with a big ball of ice. You did the 2 ounces of the bourbon. We did 4 roses again. It just goes with everything. Did an ounce of the vermouth, which this time we got the Gallo sweet vermouth. So make sure it's sweet, because sometimes you do the dry.
Yeah, it is the sweet.
It does change the complexity. Yeah. So make sure you do a sweet vermouth. So 1 ounce sweet vermouth, 2 ounces of the bourbon, orange bitters and Angostura bitters.
Yep.
Did on this one. And then, did you muddle the Sumo orange in there, or did you just squeeze in?
I didn't squeeze it.
Nope,
No,
just the peel.
I just used the peel.
Yep, yeah. So, and then the bada bing cherries. Man, you guys know what that is, and stir it real nice in there. Get that, get those flavors mixed up. Get a little bit of the water melted in there, and that's it, man. Manhattan.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Yeah, he said it's like an old fashioned, basically, with sweet vermouth in it.
Yeah, so I don't know how it's going to hit tomorrow. You know, if I'm going to be regretting this tomorrow.
I'll text you in the morning, bro.
I did limit myself to 2 drinks today, so
it does hit you.
Does it?
I think it's the vermouth, man. Because it happens to me with Negronis too. Like 2 Negronis in, I'm like, ooh, I can feel that. Yeah, and I know if Negroni has a little more, it's like 1 and 1, but it's 3 ounces of alcohol. Yeah, so but the Negronis too. I do 2, and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't push it. I always do, but I should. I know I should stop.
Then there's that thing that's like, I'm home. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That, I say this, and I'm gonna be like, fucking middle of the thing, just ripping.
I bet. Yo, compliment of the week for me is going out to the Ghost Riders, Firefly Aerospace. Just because I'm kind of a space junkie. Firefly Aerospace is a company out of Texas. I can't remember exactly where they're at. I'm assuming they launched out of Houston.
Okay.
But in January, man, they launched this moon lander. And what was cool about this one was like they were able to take video in 4K of the landing.
Oh shit!
So like all this, all like the hoax stuff from my
yeah.
Like,
so they were actually able to get like
like they got real fucking video of the shit landing and stuff, man.
You would think this would be a bigger story. Cause I did see this, and you would think it would be a much bigger story.
No one cares, bro.
We landed on the moon again. Also, second privait private company ever to do it.
Yeah, but no people.
No, right? I know, but still, to land just period. Yeah. Like you said, in 4K and all that. And it's only the second time like a private entity has done it.
Yeah, and then this one, and they landed upright. And I think they were the first ones to actually like land their shit right, like correctly.
So everybody just kind of tumbled in. It's like, fuck it, we made it. Crash landed into the moon, basically. Yeah, I guess everybody, it's true. Everybody crash landed essentially into the moon. Yeah.
So this one was like a successful, successful landing and like I say, video 4K. They delivered like 10 payloads for NASA. They were coming. They're trying to get some. Not trying. They actually, this thing has like a drill. They're gonna drill like 9 feet below the surface to like collect samples and moon dust and rocks.
What did they deliver? Where? Like stuff to the moon? They're leaving there.
That's a great. Yes, it is, and I think it's all for like. The moon is supposed to be like the sort of like the stopping point to Mars.
It's gonna get colonized to essentially have like a rest stop, if you will, and like an intermediate point between.
Right, and that's supposed to be the future, right?
So they're basically probably sending up construction material now.
Yeah, I guess. Man, I don't know exactly what it was.
That's fascinating.
They didn't say, but I watched the video. And the video is just cool, man. And again, just being like a bit of a space junkie, man. Just watch it. I watched it a few times, and man, it's just it's funny when you look at like the moon through the telescope. It's like that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what you imagine fucking landing on the moon would be like. And then there's it's always weird because like there's no atmosphere, there's no nothing, right? So it's like land the planet. It's just fucking black.
Yeah, and I the video that I saw, the cool part to me is like you can see Earth in the background.
Yes.
You know, like how we would look at the moon in the background, like you can see the Earth in the background. Yeah.
And then I guess the sun was sort of behind it, so as it landed, you see the shadow of the spacecraft.
Oh,
so you
that's
see
cool.
it see it kind of landing and stuff, man. So just like I said, I gave them compliment, man, because just doing their part, and another private company kind of doing their part in the continued space exploration, man. And this thing's gonna basically like survive for like 2 weeks because it's sitting on the part of the moon that has solar, and so it's solar powered.
Okay.
So once the shit goes dark, the battery's gonna drain.
Oh, so it's just that's
it.
Okay. So we go up and somebody will do something to it.
I guess something to
See, it's got to be wild because this thing has to be billions of dollars, and we just go, we're going to send it for billions of dollars, it's just going to break. You know what I mean? Like, we're never getting it back. You know what I mean? We're just going to destroy. Can you imagine telling someone, like, hey, I need $4 billion for something to send it into space? You're like, all right, I'm with you for 2 weeks. And then we're going to throw it in the garbage.
Speaking of the moon, man, so those of y'all who do any kind of stargazing, this coming Thursday, I think it's like Wednesday night into Thursday, or maybe it's Thursday into Friday.
Oh, I think it's 2 nights this week. I think
the blood moon.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking about the alignment of the planets, where you're going to be able to see every planet.
Oh, did it pass already? Is that? I don't know if that's coming or if that's already passed. I did read about that too. I forgot about the dates.
It's like the first time you could see all
of the planets.
I don't even know how many there are now. When I was in school, there was 9.
Yeah. But I mean, like from a regular telescope, right? It's like you can see Mercury, Mercury is really hard to fucking see. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn.
Right.
And so, anyway, man. So check it out. Blood Moon this coming like Thursday or Friday. I can't remember which one it is. Look it up. You'll figure it out if you're interested. And I want to say it's like 2 a.m. So you got to be outside.
You gotta go wake up. And,
you gotta be outside. So for those of you who are not real junkies, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
For those of us that are,
you're not a nerd.
Yeah, I'll be fucking waking up for that shit.
You'll get up for that?
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You'll get up. I'll bring out the telescope. And I fucking Do
you take pictures through your telescope at all or anything, or you just want to see it and then you're content with just seeing it?
You can see the blood because it's a full moon.
Yeah.
So you can see it. You can see it through the naked eye.
Okay, true.
And with the fucking Samsung, I do the 100 zoom.
You do, yeah.
So yeah, it's dope.
That shit takes amazing footage.
So I'll do that, man.
So you'll get up. Damn. That's what is it? It's on a Wednesday, Thursday?
I want to say it's like a Wednesday night into Thursday morning, if I'm not mistaken.
It's funny. I'll probably still be up. I talk shit, but my sleep schedule's horrible, so I'll probably be up.
See? All right, man, what you got?
Very uncharacteristic.
Did you decide,
man? I guess I'll do this story. I'm not. I know, man. It's like I'm not. It's like I'm enthusiastic and I'm not. I was looking. I just know I'm fucked up because I wanted to be an asshole so bad. So I'm looking for stuff to be an asshole about. And don't get me wrong, I could figure it out. But I did see this and I thought it was the coolest story I saw this week. So I picked this. It was this scientist from the University of Beirut in Germany created this this skin-like hydrogel that heals wounds 90% in 4 hours.
Get the fuck out.
Or completely healed in 24 hours. And the best way I could describe it is like those sleeves like athletes wear, like basketball players.
Yeah.
So it's like that, but it's made out of a gel. So you would, let's say you had a cut on your arm.
Okay.
You would slide this thing on, and after 4 hours, the way it and I'm gonna get this wrong, so I got to read here a little bit. Is that by integrating these ultra-thin clay nanosheets with densely entangled polymer networks, this hydrogel can self-repair up to 90% within 4 hours of being cut and achieve complete healing in 24 hours. It essentially becomes, because it's just as flexible and it mimics like the strength of the human skin. It essentially replicates the human skin and then enhances like the healing properties of
it. It's like a super bandit.
Super bandit. Yeah. But it's like even better. It's like super skin. It's like superhuman skin because like you already sort of like heal and do all that stuff. But it basically just does what you do faster on you. And that's not the part that's
so what does it do? Does it like activate your fucking cells?
Yeah, I think it contains its own too. So it like mixes with yours, and then it just like creates the layers on top.
You're like
and
a fucking mutant. So you like,
yeah, basically. But I think why the breakthrough is significant, because it's not just like obviously you want to heal a cut quickly, or if there's, who knows, like I don't know. It wasn't clear what the sort of like severity of the trauma could be that it would heal. Like maybe like you could have 3rd-degree burns, and it might be a thing that just becomes new skin and all that. Like, I don't know if that's like the crazy part of it, but what they seem to be super excited about was wound healing, replacing the artificial skin, soft robotics, I guess, doing things that they can deliver like nano robots using that of like microgel, and drug delivery to your system, because they're saying because it becomes part of your body and it absorbs so fast that they could potentially deliver life-saving medicine or even other medicine to you, not only quicker, but in a way that its efficacy is higher or exists at all. Because maybe there was a way that they couldn't deliver like a cancer med before that would work, and maybe by doing it this way, it leads to sort of like a I guess improved healing or improved reactions or whatever. So yeah, I could see this thing being like, I remember when this thing came out, and it'll be like the thing that our kids are like normal for them to do with their kids, you know what I mean? So it's one of those where I was like, oh, that seems like insane. Like it's sort of like day-to-day practical, that it'll change sort of how we think about things. Like, yo, put on one of the sleeves, bro. Shut the fuck up. You know, your kids fall down.
You know that commercial with the fucking lady? It's like, I think it's that Band-Aid commercial. No. It's a fucking cat food commercial. Where she's like, Mommy, I cut myself. She's like, get a Band-Aid. She's like, it's really bad. And she goes, get 2.
Like, get one of these sheets.
It'll be like, put the fucking sleeve on it. Shut the fuck up. I'm feeding my cat over here.
My grandmother, when people got hurt and you'd have like a giant cut, my grandmother would make you go to the tree. Nah, that's even ghettoer. Damn. That came from a black grandma, right? Was that your black grandma? Was that your Puerto Rican grandma?
The Puerto Rican grandma? And it had to be the parquet. Because the other one didn't work.
My grandmother probably needed a lot of therapy, but she would make you go get lemons from a lemon tree outside, and bring them in, and then she would cut the lemons in half and just squeeze them on you onto your wound, because she said that would clean it out. And then, you know, help you heal or whatever.
Probably not wrong, man. But
who knows? But can you imagine? I think she enjoyed that shit. You know how much that shit burns?
I thought you were gonna say like aloe plant or some shit. Nah, she went right to the lemon.
No, my grandmother went straight to the shit she knew would hurt you. Not for us. She was an amazing grandmother to us, but like you hear the stories, like I hear them from like my mom or like my uncles and stuff all the time. And you would hear these wild stories, and I'm like, and she would tell you, you know, like it's not like she was hiding them.
Yeah.
No, she treated us like kings, but like grandmothers always do.
Dude, man, it's got to be something to like the whole. And I've heard this before from my mom, and then like my wife's parents, of just being a grandparent. Like the love that you have for your grandchild, like it's different.
Yeah.
Than the love that you have for your kids. Man,
I'm actually excited, bro.
Me too, bro.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Me too, man. My wife thinks that she's not that there's no way that she loves those kids more than her own.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I could see equal, if not more. But I
just think it's different, right?
I think it's different. Yeah, I think it's just a different type of love, but also a different type of like, you know, like as you get older and you like do miss like your kids being small or doing stuff. It's like just like another way
redo it almost, man.
And at a time of your life where you're probably like you don't have as much stress, maybe you don't have as much like going on, you know, so you can dedicate sort of the time maybe that you wish you gave to your kids and that. I can't wait, man. I'm gonna be wild. It's so fun. Give them back all hopped up on sugar and shit.
I was gonna say you get to give them back.
Yeah, well maybe not. I don't know, man. It depends on your kids. I'm not.
Nah, I'll be like,
I gotta be careful what I say. I might be raising these motherfuckers.
You better come pick these little motherfuckers up.
They're gonna end up in the system.
Yo, speaking of kids, man, fucking Andrew Schulz.
Yeah, man.
Is this thing called Life?
It's called Life, right? Yeah. I thought the tour was called the Life Tour, but I think the special was called Life.
Yeah.
But I know his tour was called the Life. And when he started actually, I'll let you talk about it because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah,
no spoiling at all, man. Just like a Netflix special, Andrew Schulz. Both of us are big fans of his, and if you have not checked him out, please do. Like it's definitely worth it. And he's like this white guy from New York. So if you're like a New Yorker or even like a northeastern, like you can really relate to some of the shit that he talks about when he talks about New York. But just all in all, like funny dude. And this particular Netflix special, he goes into him and his wife's issues with having a child. So he recently had a child, maybe less than a year ago, right?
Yeah, probably within a year. I'd say within a year, maybe even 2. But yeah. Now let's say a year.
I would say it's been a year.
I think it's been a year. Yeah.
But they had to go through the IUI, which is the artificial insemination, as well as the IVF, which is the in vitro fertilization. And so when I'm watching it, man, he's telling these stories. So he's again comedian, right? So it's this real life situation that he's talking about, and the majority of the special is him just going through the details, but then talking about the different details and the people involved and how he makes light of it and he gets serious at some point, right? But there's a lot of jokes.
It's an emotional, especially I think if you can relate. It's definitely like he had some moments in there, right, where like are tearjerkers, right? Like especially if you're someone who has kids or struggled, or I think just in general, because it was so heartfelt and so genuine, and I could definitely see that being the case.
So I won't spoil it, man, but definitely worth going to check out. But but the reason I brought it up was because as I'm watching it, like my wife and I went through all of that shit that he talked about, like all of it. And so as he's sort of making fun of himself, I'm remembering me doing that shit, man. Okay. And I'm fucking like, and I couldn't remember if
you jerk off into the petri dish.
Like all of that shit.
Finally, we got to the good shit.
And I couldn't remember if, like, I'm pretty sure I've told you about this at some point, man. But
we've talked a little bit on this pod in the past, I'm sure too, a little bit. But
But so one of the things he talks about is like they go to do like the IUI, which is like the what they call it, the intrauterine insemination, which is essentially taking your fucking sperm, you jerk off into a cup, they take your sperm, and then for lack of a better description, they take like a turkey baster and fucking fire it into your lady. Okay. And that's pretty much right. They take your shit and then fire it into her. And so that's usually when you're having issues, getting pregnant. That's usually like the first thing that they do. It's cheaper, so it's not anything crazy expensive. And then when that doesn't work, then the next step is the in vitro, which essentially they take your sperm, they take her eggs, stick it into a petri dish, and see if the sperm fertilizes the egg. So as he's going through like the artificial insemination, I remember us going through that, and those things not working, or they work, and then she had a miscarriage, right? And then so went through all of that shit, and then so but before you do the in vitro, that's when the doctor's like, okay, we have to make sure that like you're good and that she's good, all right? And so my wife goes and gets checked first, and she I don't remember how they check her, but essentially when the results come back in,
do like an egg count, and then they check your tubes and make sure there's no weird curves and yada yada. Yeah.
No fucking clue, bro. I just know she got checked. She comes home, and this is what I get.
She's like, bitch, it's you.
Verbatim. No. Yes. Verbatim. Bro. She comes home, and she goes.
Now, is she smiling as she walks through the door?
I don't remember. I just remember the harsh words, bro. She goes, I told you. You're shooting blanks.
You're shooting blanks.
I got checked. You're shooting blanks. And she's like, you have to go get checked. I'm good. Right? And dude, you know what's funny, man?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Is that there was not one worried bone in my body.
Yeah?
nigga.
Yeah, you're Puerto Rican and black.
Your boy knew that I was firing some shit, right? At least in my head, that's what I thought.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say we fertile as fuck. You cut the lights off in here. There's gonna be 6 more of us when you cut it back on.
So anyway, so then she's like, I already made you an appointment. You got to go in. You got to give you a fucking sample, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to go jerk off into a cup. Bro, they send me, and I'm going to call out this company. I'm just like, yeah, fuck y'all. They send me to Quest Diagnostics.
I didn't even know Quest collected coming. Let's go. So I've been there.
So yeah, I think we all have, blood work, right?
Yeah.
I do it.
I peed in the cup there before.
I still go there every year to go do to get the fucking blood work for my health insurance. So anyway, bro, so I get to Quest, right? I've never done this before. I sign in. I'm sitting in the fucking waiting room, and then finally somebody comes up and they go like, "Yo, like here's the fucking cup. You gotta go give you a sample, whatever." And they point me down the hall to a door. I get to the door. It's a restroom. It's a 1-person restroom, but it's a restroom.
But just a restroom.
Yeah, toilet and a sink.
Oh, like a normal toilet sink,
yeah.
Like a normal public restroom.
Yes.
And you supposed to jerk off in there?
And I'm just like,
oh, that's weird.
It's really bright. I can't dim the lights.
Man. No TVs.
I can't no TVs.
No mood.
No, nigga, nothing. So I
no lotion, oils,
nothing, bro. Water for the sink, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
What kind of diabolical, these cruel motherfuckers?
I was like, they trying to fuck up my game.
You think it's so that you don't make a mess? They want you to dribble out. Put you in the most uncomfortable situation ever.
So listen, and fellas, you're gonna identify with this, right? So I'm in there. I got to do the fucking deed, right? So I go to town, whatever, right? I'm trying to fucking think of shit.
Wait, what year is this?
Fuck, man. Probably, I'm guessing 06.
Oh, so you got to raw dog this off memory. We don't have, you don't have porn on your phone. Nothing you could like. Damn. You got to call back to memories and shit.
So no idea what the fuck I was thinking about at the time, right?
Yeah, but we don't have to get into that.
But so I'm fucking, dude, I'm going in, right? I'm going in because I'm going like, yo, there's nothing. I gotta get this shit done.
Yeah.
And then so they give you this cup it's a good sized cup. And my first initial
cup,
thought,
like the size of this, smaller.
I mean,
glass?
Smaller. No, bigger than a shot glass.
But somewhere in between the shot glass.
But smaller than smaller than a rocks glass.
Okay.
And this is one of the things that I was laughing at because he talks about this in his show where he's like, yo, like I'm thinking I'm gonna fill this cup up, and I remember thinking that. Yeah. I was like looking at the cup.
As you said that, I went, you better give me a solo cup.
They gave me this cup, and I'm going like, oh man, this might not be enough. I'll be throwing down.
This might not. But that's why they just gave you the bathroom to work with. They probably trying to look to reduce the load. So literally.
So with me, man. So I'm going to town. I get to the point where I'm gonna come, right? So I have to like almost like stop to like grab the cup. I had to like interrupt myself to grab the cup.
Oh, you had the cup down. You didn't have it in your hand, ready to go.
I had it like right next to me.
Okay.
But the point that you that you orgasm.
Yeah.
And you kind of, it's like sneezing. You kind of lose your shit.
Yeah.
For like
if done right.
A second. So I don't know if y'all watching a YouTube video, man, but you get the. I'm gonna look into the camera when I do this.
We definitely getting a video pulled this time.
God damn it, yes. You look into the. I'm like,
you're gonna show your old face on video.
It's like the fucking the part where you're like. You're fucking your eyes closed. It's like when you fucking sneeze. Everything is fucking good. So this is the point when I'm trying to grab the fucking cup. And so I bring the cup there. The first shot fucking launches over the cup. I think it's on my leg, on my fucking pant leg and shit. I get the rest of it in the cup. Then I'm like, I look at the cup and I go like, man, that's it? So you know what I do, bro? I see the shit on my pant leg, and I'm like, nah, I'm getting all that. Yeah, I'm getting all that lint and everything.
Contaminated ass. see, I had a couple of drops to spare because I'd have filled up the cup and the floor. And don't give me 2 days in between. How long had it been in between?
I don't remember, man. But I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah. And
like, so, so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, man. And I have to do the walk of shame, man. I got a fucking wet spot on my pant leg. I'm walking out of the bathroom.
I feel like we just spit roasted somebody because I got to watch you make your old face with the table in between. I'm wildly uncomfortable and can't stop laughing all at the same time.
So, bro, so I take the walk of shame back to wherever the fuck the person that I had to give it to, right? I had to seal it, initial it, whatever, man. You give it back to them. Fast forward, I don't know, a few days.
Yeah.
My wife has to go to the doctor to get the results. I wasn't with her. So she gets home. And I knew she had to go. So she gets home, and I'm just like, yo, so what happened? And she goes, I even hate telling you this, but the doctor said, well, it's not your husband. He goes, he's got an extremely high sperm count. They're really good swimmers. And even the shape of them was perfect.
Let's fucking go!
I'm like, yes. You know that fucking scene.
We're getting shirts that say, even the shape of them is perfect. With our logo inside of a sperm head.
Let's go. You know the scene from Wolf of Wall Street when he goes, I'm not fucking leaving?
Yeah.
That was me, bro. I'm pretty sure that I have never been. I'm pretty sure that even the birth, I wasn't even more proud when my kids were born.
I would have been talking so much shit. You better tell your lazy ass, raggedy ass uterus
that the boys are coming.
Be ready for war. The infiltration is happening later. We will not be stopped.
Oh shit!
That's amazing, no. But it is it's fun. As I was watching it, I remember thinking, man, if you're someone who's going through this, who has gone through this, obviously, when the story ends happy, there's a different feeling. There's a sentiment. There's like the sort of the heartache was worth it, right? And then if it wasn't, I don't know that there's anything that sort of fixes that. Like
right.
if your like ultimate goal in life is something you always want to do and you can't accomplish it. But I did think like, man, what a great I think if you're someone and you feel some kind of shame or you feel some kind of embarrassment or just disappointment in yourself or whatever, because a lot of times we could, we're genetically predisposed by evolution to, like, it's programmed in us that you have to sort of procreate, like if you're a woman, you're supposed to have a baby, and if you're a man, you're supposed to fertilize,
and there is something within us,
it tells you to do it,
because I can attest to, like, being in my early 20s and going like, nah, like I don't want kids. Like, it wasn't a thing that I really wanted. And I can remember, bro, I was 27 when I when I started to go, like having kids wouldn't be so bad. I remember thinking that thought.
Okay.
And then between 27 and 30, I remember that change, like, gradually changing to, oh yeah. I want kids. But yeah, man, like, and again, he has a great story about him giving his sample too. Again.
Yeah.
And so as he's going through this shit, man, I'm kind of following him and then reenacting this shit in my head or replaying, my own experience. And then so again, and again, his experience was a little bit different. They had different issues but with us, neither one of us had issues, right? So it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And so we ended up doing the in vitro, which again I had to go give a second sample, and then they take my sperm, her eggs, put them in the dish, and then have to implant them into my wife, right? So there's like there's so many different steps here where shit could go wrong. But everything went right, and then we ended up with twins, and the rest is history, right?
How many did you put in to get the twins?
3. So that's the other thing.
Okay, so you could have had triplets.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, man. So when they called us, so I get my sample. They take her eggs, they put them in the dish, and then you wait, and then they call you, and then they go, hey, X amount of. So for me, they go 3 eggs fertilized. What do you guys want to do? And then they walk us through like, hey, like you could do 1, you could do 2, you could do 3. Keep in mind that no matter which one that you choose, those eggs have a chance of splitting. So you could get up to 6.
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't know.
Right.
Okay.
And so, being that we had gone through all of, I guess, like the emotional roller coaster of having miscarriages, and then doing the IUIs and those things not working, right? And then it was just like, this is like the last hoorah, and we were just like, fuck it, put all 3. And then we put all 3, bro, and only 2 took. So the third one just never attacked.
You said only 2, like you supposed to have 2 at a time. Greedy ass American.
No, and not for nothing, bro. We would have been happy with 1, right?
Yeah. Of course, you're trying to get the one. Yeah. And then I think in your scenario, just me thinking like if I had to make that decision, that probably would have been my gut reaction too. It's like no, do all of it. Yeah.
Let's see.
5, let's fucking go.
And so for those of you who don't know me as well, it's just like the end of that story is like we end up having twins, and then a year later, like she gets pregnant naturally for our 3rd child. So it was like nothing was really ever wrong.
Just once her body acclimated to like, oh yeah, cool, I can get pregnant, and then it's weird, man, how our bodies do.
Yeah. But Andrew Schulz talked about on a different podcast. He talked about when he would make jokes about him and his wife and about the shit they were going through, that he was getting a lot of messages from guys going like, yo man, like keep talking about that shit. And then that kind of grew to, yo man, like I thought I was like the only one, or like even dudes that he knew that had kids that he didn't even know that they had gone through that shit. He was just getting like, yo, my wife and I, like we had to do that shit too. So like this is it's way more prevalent than maybe you even realize that. And so if you got guys or girls and you're going through this shit, man, like you are not alone.
Yeah, no, and I think that was the thing that I got out of it, man, was like, obviously huge, like you said, we're huge Andrew Schulz fans, been following him for a long time before the pods were big and all that, and all his comedy stand-ups, all his specials. And I think the thing that stood out to me the most going into this was like, I've never known him to do personal comedy. He's always sort of done the, I guess what I would call like observational comedy, where he's observing things that are happening and he's sort of commenting on those things. He's never really been personal. And so I think, the comedy sort of nerd or geek in me loved the evolution of the throwing in dude, there's something in comedy. There's a lot of like parallel thoughts, right? Like we could all watch the same world event and have a parallel thought to it. I'm sure we've done it on this podcast, people, where like you use the same material that someone else thought of, because it's an experience that we're all sort of seeing, watching, and you're bound to have the same thought, right? When something happens to you and it's your own life experience, and you can go up on stage or do any art, really, write a song, whatever, make a movie, and it's your unique, like people can't take that from you, and they can't have that perspective, and so like there's something oddly unique, or not oddly, but there's something really unique and really cool, and I think that resonates with people when it's that personal, and it's something like that. Like I as I was watching it, I'm like, man, like if you're someone who's going through this or has gone through this stuff, like this has to feel like, oh fuck, cool, I'm not alone. It's happening to someone who's at this sort of like stage in life, or this, like this famous person who has the resources and all that to sort of get through this. It's like, so that has to make you at least not feel alone. It doesn't say it makes you feel better, but at least like, hey, it's not me. I'm not this loser failure. Like people. This happens to people. Even though we know it, I think we have to see it. Like
we absolutely have to see it, bro.
And then the other part of me, like the comedy nerd, was like, wow, watching this evolution of like what he had normally done from the crowd work to the stuff to talking about something so personal. Because when he started the tour was called The Life. They hadn't gotten pregnant yet, which I also thought was cool. So this special could have had a very different ending in terms of like, it could have just been him making fun of the fact that he can't have a kid, and then that's it, right? And either way, I think it's impactful and it's good, right? Because it's like, whatever the material is that comes from that, like, it's still unique. It's still something that happens to a lot of people. It's something that other people can sort of resonate with. Like either way, I think you get a piece of art that's, I don't want to call it good because that feels odd to, when you're talking about a scenario where someone's trying to have a baby. But I think, like, I'm one of these people that don't think anything is off limits. Like, I'll make fun of anything. I don't think everybody should think that's funny. Like, if someone's like, I don't like to laugh at, that.
Yeah.
I respect that. But, like, me personally, and I'm sure there's a thing that will eventually be like, I can't fuck with that. But, like, for me,
no.
That's how I cope, right? It's like I make a joke about fucking everything, right? So it's like I think that's like sort of my coping mechanism. So I almost default to comedy as the way to sort of work my way. So I love to see people do that, and maybe that's what this was for him. Maybe the therapy isn't. I gotta go up there and make fun of myself, make fun of the scenario, make fun of. Yeah, maybe that's how you get through it, because otherwise you're sitting at home sort of like dwelling on this thing, right? And maybe it's a way for you not to feel alone on stage too. Like if you're talking about it and then you're getting messages, it's also, I'm sure, really validating or reassuring to him too, or at least making him feel like, hey, I'm not, like I think it does just as much for him as it does for the audience.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. Dude, it's a tearjerker, and I think there are very few pieces of art, man, that get, and I know I talk about this on here a lot. It's what I love about comedy is like, it's the hardest art form in the world to me, and I will argue that with anybody at any point. Like I will say this to that guy, like the only form or the only reaction that is acceptable when you're doing stand-up is laughter.
Yep.
Every other form of art, it can be interpreted any other way and it can still be good, right? Like you could make people laugh, cry, dance, be happy, be mad, be sad, be whatever, through music, through art, through paintings, through whatever else. Comedy, it's like you get one reaction and that's laughter, and if you don't, it sucks. And to me, it makes it so much more difficult than any other form of art. And I think when I've seen people do something like this, where then they can also get a emotional sort of like tear jerking or like just like you can make me laugh and cry all within the same like 30-second span.
Yeah,
I think that's something that's so powerful and so unique in that. I know we've talked about this one here before. The only other one that I could think of that's done that for me was 3 Mics by Neil Brennan.
Oh, you gotta watch the Jamie Foxx one too.
Oh, see, I have to see it. Yeah, I haven't watched Jamie Foxx. 3 Mics from Neil Brennan was the one where I went like laugh, cry, laugh, cry, laugh, cry, laugh, cry, where you just went like, I'd never seen anyone get that sort of like personal and dark and thing, and then just goes all out funny. And I thought that's what was so cool about the Schulz thing. It's like you're taking this thing that's very personal, because dude, having a child for people, it's a very, especially if you really want one, is something that's like it's hard to find humor in that when you're going through that. I'm sure you and your wife were like, there's nothing funny about that at the time.
No, man. And you know what's funny, man, is like like I look at my kids now and I go, obviously love my kids so much, and it's like we had to go through all that shit. We had to go through the miscarriage. We had to go through, my wife had one actually die inside of her, and they had to go in there and abort it. Which is, again, especially for a woman, right? It's like an emotional fucking roller coaster, right?
Terrible experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, going through that and like the emotions behind it, the like I remember us buying like a statue of like an angel holding a baby and all this sort of like this.
You're almost holding a funeral for
almost, but not really.
Right. But you're memorializing
inside. Yeah. That's what's happening, and in the moment, those things are tragic. But then I go, yo, if we would have had that one, like I don't have the 3 that I have now.
Yeah. And
it's fine, right?
Because you get a new one that you've never met, and you would have loved that kid just as, because you don't know these guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't. But I think it goes to, remember that movie I told you about, man, the one where I can't remember the name of the movie, but the chick actually like knows the future, and so her kid, she knows that her kid, she knows she's gonna have a kid, and the kid's gonna die of cancer like as a teenager.
I want to say Amy Adams. Is that the woman?
That's the woman that plays. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so in that movie, it's like she knows this tragic thing is gonna happen, but she also knows the kid and how the kid is, and she still chooses to go through with it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm very aware of the blessings that I have in my life now only came because of the pain that I had to go through in, miscarriages and losing kids, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a different perspective.
There really is, man. There really is. And so listening to Andrew Schulz, man, like I said, just being able to relate to really every step of like every aspect, and he presents it differently than mine, and he has a different story and whatever. So definitely like go watch it, and if you have gone through this with your significant other, like it's even funnier.
Yeah, right. Like you said, it's even funnier, and it's something you can look back on now and laugh. And again, I'm just a fan of art that sort of like imitates life, and it's sort of what it should do, and it should. I don't want to say necessarily make fun of, because it's not the only way you can do things, right? Like I love music, I love stuff, and so I think experiences lead to the best art. And so, and obviously, just being a huge comedy nerd, when you can do it in comedy with a subject like that, it's so cool. It's not like, I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of his in general, but I thought that the way to be able to do a stand-up special where basically it's one long story, and he deviates to tell you jokes during that story, but it's basically just him sitting. It'd be like we were sitting here now, and he's like, "Fuck, let me tell you, me and my wife have gone through the last year to have this baby." That's what it feels like, right? And
he's telling you the real stories, and they're freaking funny. It's kind of like, and again, as I'm watching it, I'm going like, oh shit, like when I went to Quest, like that was a fucking, it's a funny story to tell. And I remember leaving Quest and laughing and going like, yo, I'm never gonna forget that. Like that was, what the fuck was that about?
I like that you said that, because I guess I'm thinking, if I'm in that scenario at the time, are you down on yourself? Or are you sad? Or or are you laughing? Like,
no, I wasn't down on myself at all, because
it's funny.
I didn't think that there was anything wrong with my swimmers.
So you were confident as fuck that you were.
I really was. I was going in there like, nah, let's. And full disclosure, I also went, yo, absolutely could be me, and then we'll just see what's next. Like, if it's me, if I don't have strong swimmers, if I have a low sperm count, or if I'm shooting blanks altogether, right? It's just like, all right, so then we'll see.
Yeah, what's next? What
does the doctor say?
What are the other options? Yeah.
And so,
I can see that, because I'm like that too. Because I'd be like, "There's a solution, whatever."
That's the way I figured, man. So
until you run out of options, you ain't out of options.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I really, for me, it was just like early in the process. So let's see. If it's me, it's me. And then we'll just figure out what the fuck is the next thing, right? Because at that point, man, I also wasn't, I didn't object to, like, I was already thinking like, yo, if I can't, I'm not against adopting.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, for me, the having a kid or raising a kid was just like, yo, there's a lot of options and whatever. Before we get off that subject, I will complete it with, in contrast to Quest, when we actually went to go do the in vitro, and I went to the actual doctor's office that specializes in infertility.
Do you mind if I say the doctor's name? I think Charles. Is it Charles?
It is Dr. Charles.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know he's like world renowned, but he's local.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's local. So I go on. Let me tell you, Dr. Charles had it fucking right. When I went on there to give my sample, this motherfucker had a room, dim lights, recliner, TV, magazines. That dude was prepared, bro.
What kind of magazines?
I don't remember. It was
Big Booty Hole 7. When we talk about Penthouse, Playboy.
Penthouse, Playboy. I don't even remember, man.
Just Victoria's Secret catalog.
No, I don't think it was that. I'm pretty sure it was like Playboy, Penthouse. Those type of I don't know. The fucking smut magazines, right? But his setup. I remember walking in there and I was just like, That's how you fucking do it. When you're gonna make somebody jerk off in a cup, this is how you fucking do it. This is what you gotta have.
Yo, imagine if this guy, like, he goes like, well, depending on what you're into, like, he's got like different variety. There's like serial killers that only killed women in there. But he's like, well, there's the Bible.
No, man, but he had a TV, and it was fucking like VHS tapes that you could fucking put in there and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude had it. He had the hookup.
So I know him of him, and I have met him, but you know, he got into that because his wife couldn't have kids.
Yes, I do. I didn't know
and
that.
Yeah, and he like sort of dedicated his, and I'm sure he was a doctor, but he dedicated his life to doing that because they couldn't.
Right.
And so he was like, yo, what better way to sort of like, I guess.
Yeah, man.
And dude, he's like, that guy gives, I remember he was like, at like worldwide conferences on infertility and stuff like that. Really? He would be one of like the main guys that speak and stuff. Yeah, he would be one of those like, if he can't do it, no one can kind of thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I guess we went to the right dude.
Yeah, it just so happens that he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's very local. I want to say he was like 30 minutes from us.
Yeah. He's really close by, man. You know who doesn't give a fuck about these kids, bro? Anthony Edwards.
Fuck these kids.
Fuck these kids.
Have you
seen the story about Anthony Edwards?
What do you do now?
Anthony Edwards knocked up some fucking groupie, some chick, whatever. I don't even know if she was a girlfriend. I think it was a one night stand or whatever. As most NBA players, like, you know, bang out chicks in whatever city they're in. So he bangs this chick from I don't even know where she's from. It doesn't even matter. But she gets pregnant. Okay. And I think at first he's like, I don't even know if that's mine, so I want a test, right? And so he gets a test. It ends up that the baby's his. And he essentially is like, all right, cool. I don't want shit to do with this baby. I'll pay child support, so I'll go through the motions. I'll give you the check and the monthly payments, but I'm willing to sign my parental rights away.
Oh, wow.
Forever. So almost in exchange for the child support is how he does it. Like, you child support, I'll sign this away. Like, I don't want anything to do with it ever. I don't want to be in his life. I don't want to spend time, but I don't want to do shit. Like, I'll just pay. And it brought like an interesting. As I'm thinking about this, Anthony Edwards is in his 20s. Let me look, because he's a very young NBA. Keep talking. Yeah. He's in his. So so now the girl, it's a 4-month-old girl, right? They've gone through all this stuff. So in court documents, Edward made it clear that his involvement in the case is strictly financial. He has no intention of pursuing custody or visitation. A DNA test conducted in December of 2024 confirmed his paternity of baby's name is Aubrey, solidifying his commitment to addressing the financial responsibilities while maintaining his stance on parental rights, meaning he didn't want any, he didn't need any, and so like
he's 23.
Yeah, so he's a 23-year-old multi-millionaire who's like, I can afford it, I'll pay for the kid, but I don't want to be a dad. I don't. So, like, here you go. Here are the rights to the thing. I won't leave you high and dry.
Right.
Financially, but from an emotional support, from a day-to-day, from everything else that entails being a parent, you're on your own.
Fuck, man. Okay.
Yeah, what do you... Yeah.
Fuck, man. Immediate reaction for me, I have to go... It's you have to put yourself in his position. So me as a father now, right? I'm going like, no way. Like, if I have a kid out there, I want involvement. But I can attest to how I felt at 23 when I didn't want kids.
Yeah.
And then now you're in a place where you don't want kids right now, and it's being forced upon you by somebody you don't necessarily care about.
Yeah, you don't have to be with them to be in the kid's life, right?
Very true. But again, if I'm in the mindset of just like I don't want kids, like he may be going like, yo, I don't want kids ever. Not saying that's not saying that
he won't change his mind. Like, yeah, sure, right.
But he could be in the mindset right now, just like no, like I don't ever want kids, because there's people like that.
Yeah, no, so the rational. I don't even know if rational. The practical person in me is saying like what you're saying. I can understand that stance. Like from a morality, from a me talking to a guy friend. I don't know. I have a real problem with not sort of being in your kid's life. I don't. Maybe it was my upbringing. No. Maybe it was like like personally, I'm like not something I could do.
I agree.
I even think like I'll say like Nick Cannon like having the 14 kids or whatever the fuck he has. I think that's negligent. Like, he can afford them, but there's no way that you have a healthy relationship with 14 kids. They all live in different places. They do stuff. Like, I don't know what the setup is like, right? But it's very difficult to keep track of 14 kids who don't live with you and spend time with them. Because, like, I think, yeah, great, you're caring for them financially, and at least hopefully this kid will have at least what it needs to grow up. Yeah, but I think kids more than anything need
time.
They need they need time. They need parents. They need love. They need affection. They need you to do like money only does so much. Now, what I can tell you is this kid's probably going to be a great NBA player because I think Schulz touches on that in his subject is like remove the dad. You're probably going to get a great athlete in there, right? So it's like the kid will probably be a great NBA player someday because he'll need that chip on his shoulder. But I just have a real problem with not being responsible for a human life that you put into then you should have done something about it. I think is what I look at it. Is you're also rich enough.
But what can you do about it?
Fucking wear a condom. No. Male birth control.
Okay, but let's go. Let's even go to the point where you go, yo, I did wear a condom and the condom broke. Now what?
Yeah, don't fuck some chick that you're not willing to have a baby with.
Again, yeah. So
you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Yeah. Or I shouldn't say that because listen, I'm sure we watched up with someone that you're not necessarily want to have a baby with, but I go, that comes with the action. Like, that is like, yo, then you shouldn't just be sleeping with anybody, right? Like, and we've all done that. Like I get it. Like that you'd be like, fuck, I don't want to be with this person. But I would say you don't have to be with that person. You should at least be there for the child. That's the responsibility. That's the position you're putting yourself in, where you have to be willing to accept that as sort of the trade-off is. And now the flip side of this, man, I understand, like, as a man, you have very little rights pre-birth, right? Like, if a woman decides to keep the baby, you have no say in that. If a woman decides to abort the baby, you have no say in that. Right. So I do get sort of the double-edged sword here of like, it's very one-sided in terms of like a decision that's made when the deed is sort of done. I guess our rights sort of end that the minute that we've committed to like just having sex, right? Like, a woman can go, I want to have an abortion. And you could be like, now I want you to have one. She'd be like, well, it's not your body. So my body, my choice, right? And so I guess the flip side of this, if you're going to go my body, my choice, Anthony Edwards can go, my body, my choice. I don't want to raise this baby, but I'll give you the money, which is the better alternative to just dipping out. Like, most of us just got left. You know what I mean? Right. No check. And so at least he's leaving a check.
And here's the other thing, bro. Is she choosing to have that child if it's not Anthony Edwards?
Oh, if it's like a Wendy's employee?
Yep.
Probably not. Or no, maybe. I shouldn't say that.
Maybe
she probably is, right? Like,
no. Don't say probably, because we don't know that, right? Like, I'm just saying, this is one of the things that about,
you're definitely seeking out ball player. We talked about this shit a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
All-Star Weekend and Pro Bowl Weekend is like, there's chicks out there looking for this. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not, again.
But as Anthony Edwards, as a pro athlete who's 23, who knows this, you can't be dumb enough to think these girls all love you. They're looking for this, right?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't thinking the love thing.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. He's not. Yeah. He's just like, they're trying to fuck. No, but I'm saying you have to know. You have to be aware, bro. If you're a college athlete, if you're a pro athlete, that you go to the club, you go to the bar, you go to whatever, that girls are going to go, well, I'll fuck that guy because he's a pro athlete, or he's a pending pro athlete, or he's
right.
I'll sleep with that dude because I know that his future might be a little brighter, or whatever, like, or the status symbol or whatever. Yeah. Like, you have to know that if you're in that predicament, and you should be more selective then of who you sort of let it. Like, I think the problem is, like, shame on us as guys is like, it goes back to like most guys tend to sleep with who they can, and most women sleep with who they want. Like, and it's weird because I think there's a dynamic. If you're Anthony Edwards, that dynamic has shifted. You can sleep with who you want. And so but he's 23. He doesn't know that yet, right? So, and I think maybe it's learning that. Maybe it's like putting yourself in a predicament where you, or putting yourself in a situation where you educate yourself on that and get better about, like, how do I avoid this going forward? I'm not saying you don't sleep with like, because you're gonna do it, right? You're 23, you're famous, they're throwing themselves at you. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
who was it? Was it Who's the NBA player, which I'm sure a lot of them do, but who's the one that's like the claim to fame, they slept with like thousands of women? Is it like Dr. J or it's
yeah,
one of
I know Dr. J.
I don't know if it's Dr. J. But somebody has said
Magic
that
Johnson.
Yeah, yeah, where they go like the numbers are like in the thousands.
Yeah,
right?
I can't remember, but yeah. No, I mean Dennis Rodman is fucking notorious for going on.
Yeah, and so when when you're in that again, young stud with money,
yeah,
you're going to different.
You're a target, bro. Women aren't stupid either, bro.
Yeah.
Women are gonna go, oh yeah, that guy. Oh, you're a kicker. Where's your quarterback? You know what I mean? Like where's the guy who's got a real future? You know what I mean? Like yeah, the fucking. It's
like don't tell me you're gonna come because I'm locking in.
Yep, I'm gonna wrap my legs around you. I think you just have to understand that it's different. You're sort of a commodity at this point, right? Like dude, the same way like I don't know, fucking I'm gonna assume Taylor Swift is probably very careful. Right, I'm gonna assume like someone like that is very careful about what she does, and if I'm sure she sleeps, she's having sex, she's doing whatever. I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift has got her shit on lock, like in terms of like I'm gonna get an abortion the day after. There's Plan B. There's a fucking pantry full of Plan B. There's what I'm sure she's gonna take whatever precautions she needs to because she realizes she's like an entity. You know, like yeah. I just think guys were shitty about that, like because we're just happy to be there.
Yeah, very.
Like for a lot of guys, especially at 23, he's probably just happy to be there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I still have a problem though with him. I couldn't, and maybe it's like a personal thing. Like dude, you were saying before, like at 23, that you didn't want to have kids and all that.
Yeah,
I've wanted to be a dad for as long as I could remember.
Oh, really?
I couldn't fucking wait to have kids.
I remember being, I think I was around like 2021. Was the first time that I think I had interacted with like a 2-year-old of a family that I knew, and I remember it was a little boy, and I was like, oh man, like it's gonna be cool to be a dad. So I remember thinking that back then, but at the same time going like, yeah, but not now.
But not now. Yeah, see, I couldn't fucking wait. Man. I was excited, man. Yeah. I always wanted. Yeah, I've always wanted to be like I just always kind of knew like, man, that'll be like super cool one day. Like that scenario where you're like playing with kids. I've always been like, oh man, that's so fun. Like I can't wait to do that. And listen, fucking psychologically, I'm sure there's a million reasons of why I've always felt that way. But like, for like I don't ever recall a time where I was like, yeah, no way, I want to be a dad. Like I've always wanted. Yeah. Always. Probably too young to fucking be thinking about that. I was like, I can't wait to be that. Yeah. So like for me, it's really tough for me to like compute someone not wanting to be there for the kids. But I also have the experience of having had a kid, right? So like I know what they mean to me, and so like
you can't imagine like not denying them.
Anthony Edwards doesn't have that attachment, right? And so I understand that. Like correct. I can't imagine being like, yo, but wait, because I only have that feeling of having them, right? So I'm like, I can't imagine giving this up. Why would you want to? But he doesn't have that, and so like I do understand that element of it. Yeah. I do get that. Like I do understand how he came to the conclusion and how he got to that, and I think, hey, you could have just been a deadbeat the whole way around. So like paying for it or whatever, that's cool. I feel like if Anthony Edwards fucking broke his leg tomorrow and could never play in the NBA again, and all his money was gone and all that, that kid wouldn't give a fuck. He would want Anthony Edwards to be his dad or her dad.
Right.
And would want Anthony Edwards to be there to fucking do a daddy-daughter dance and to fucking teach her how to ride a bike and to like that sort of shit. Like I'm like that 4-month-old would trade that for fucking the G-Wagon at her Sweet 16 party.
Right.
Like so, and I think.
No, true.
That's tough for me to like get past.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm pretty sure he's not thinking that way, right? Because he just doesn't have.
Of course
that
not, because he
experience.
doesn't have that. Yeah, and I do understand that I do have that experience. Yeah.
But hey, man, did you see fucking LeBron staying with the NBA? LeBron telling Stephen A. To stop talking about his son. Did you see the video?
I did see the video.
So it was that when they played the Knicks.
Yes, it was at the Garden. Yeah.
At the Garden. Yeah, and so LeBron walks up to Stephen A., who those of you who don't know, Stephen A. Smith, podcaster, ESPN analyst, pretty much owns ESPN.
I was going to say he's the ESPN personality. Do they have anyone left that's at Stephen A.'s level? I mean, Shannon Sharp now, I guess, but
none of this level.
But he doesn't have Stephen A. Smith clout yet. He will, but yeah.
So LeBron, I guess this is after the game, walks up to Stephen A. and basically tells him to stop talking about his son, Bronny James, who drafted by the Lakers last year, and is probably not of NBA caliber. But is still a good basketball player. Gets kind of sent, or gets sent down to the G League, which is like the NBA minor league, and then he's kind of back and forth between the Lakers and the G League. For me, man, when I saw that, and Stephen A. came out and said what he said, and just without like not verbatim, but essentially like stop talking about my son.
Yeah,
like, keep my son's name out your mouth, type shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, man, Bronny's is considered a man at this point.
Yeah.
And you're in the NBA, bro. You get to smoke like everybody else.
Smoke like everybody, yeah.
And so I did see it as well from the other angle, right? From a dad trying to protect his son.
Yeah.
Because like I go, you know this, man, like one of my sons plays lacrosse, and we go to all of his games, and I could imagine doing the same type of thing if I heard somebody talking shit about my son during the game. I could see myself doing that, or at least wanting to do that. So from a father standpoint, like I see that. But I also say, yo, he's a minor. It's fucking high school lacrosse. Like, fucking chill out.
Yeah.
Whereas the NBA, there's expectations of the athletes in that league.
I think. And I'm glad Stephen A. Smith addressed it the way, because I kind of thought, Stephen A. is gonna like. I thought Stephen A. would play like victim, or he would like.
Oh, he didn't at all.
No, and I liked his response, because he was like, "Yo, the guy that came up to me wasn't LeBron the ball player, it was LeBron the dad."
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very fair way to put it, because to your point, it's like, yo, a lot of us aren't rational when it comes to our kids, right? Because like what you're saying, perfectly rational. LeBron Jr. is an NBA basketball player. LeBron Jr. should be scrutinized by the media the same way every NBA player is and has always been scrutinized. And and they're gonna tell you when you have a shitty game, they tell you have a good one. They're gonna tell you if you're trash, if you're a bust, or you're whatever. Right or wrong, that's what they all get, right? Yep. So he's not being singled out. However, he's probably getting a little more scrutiny because he is LeBron's kid. And to your point, he probably doesn't have the skill set to be in the NBA. He's probably only in the NBA as a first round pick, or whatever, because he's LeBron's kid.
Yep.
And so he's gonna get heightened attention. If you're LeBron, you probably should understand that and not, like, I guess, overreact or react. I shouldn't say overreact, because I don't think it's an overreaction. I think you shouldn't react to it, because you should understand all these things. However, bro, the dad takes over. And I get that. I don't know that I would have walked up to him and been like, yo, let me go talk shit to this guy. I think if he would have tried to talk to me about something, I'd have been like, nah, bro, fuck you. You talk about my son all the time. I don't know that I'm going to single you out, because I think the other part of me has to understand, yo, we signed up for this. I signed up for this by, probably doing whatever I did behind the scenes to get him put it there. Yeah. And Bronny signed up for this by wanting to be in the NBA. And so also, the other part of me goes, my ego is, I don't want to give you more attention than you deserve. And so if you're LeBron, I think you have to understand you're in the position where the more attention you give this, the bigger it gets. If you just don't address it at all, this guy doesn't get the attention because, bro, how many people probably went like, fucking Googled or YouTube, like, what did Stephen A. Smith say about Bronny? You know what I mean? After that.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have, or we wouldn't even known if LeBron doesn't address it. And so, again, the rational me who's not in this scenario, whose kid is not involved, is going like, I'm not going to give you that satisfaction of doing that. If I'm in this scenario and it involves my kid and I see you, I'm probably going to react different, because, again, it's my kid and I'm going to be like, yo, fuck you. Like, but I'd like to think I'm pretty good in these scenarios where I go, I would just only address it if you came to me first. Like, if Stephen A. is like, yo, what's up, and you're trying to be cool with me, I'm going to be like, yo, fuck you, bro. You're talking about my kid. Like, and probably keep it moving.
Right.
And like the other part of this is like Stephen A. and LeBron have never gotten along, and so
is that right?
Yeah, they don't like each other, bro. You notice they don't really interview, they don't really like chat. So I think
Shannon Sharp, sings his praises.
Yeah, but Stephen A. and LeBron don't get along at all.
But I've never seen Shannon Sharp, like, I've never seen him on Club Shay Shay or anything like that. I've never seen Shannon Sharp really.
No, but he does sing his praises. Stephen A. and LeBron just don't I think there's a beef there. It goes back a long ways.
Okay.
They don't necessarily jive. And so is this LeBron going like, yo, man, you and I got beef, but like, yo, keep him out of it. Like, if you're LeBron, are you going, yo, you're being harsher on him because he's my kid and you don't like me? You know what I mean? Like, and so so that's like the other layer of this where I go, yeah, then I'm probably going, yo, what the fuck is your deal? Like, you and I aren't cool, but like, he just got here. Like, and he's in the thing, like, you could, and I'm wondering if that's like the dad mode, because I could definitely see myself doing that, going, yo, I don't like you, and you don't like me, and that's cool. We coexist in this world that we both have to sort of cover. But like, he just got here, he ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, stop fucking talking about him. Because I could also make the argument, bro, if you want to be like harsh to your kid, yo, my kid's in the G League and coming up back and forth, like, he shouldn't even be talking about him on first take.
Right. Like,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Shouldn't even be a conversation
What
about him.
other G League player are you talking about?
However, he's LeBron James Jr. So it's like, bro,
he just kind of
I just think just don't let your kid touch a basketball if you're Michael Jordan Jr. or LeBron James Jr. Don't let your kids touch a basketball.
Didn't Michael Jordan's kid play here at UCF?
Yeah, he just got arrested recently. He owns a store like a block or two away from me. Yeah. He He owns like a sneaker store and like apparel, like a block from me.
A sneaker store.
Yeah. I always wondered how they used the Jumpman logos for a long time. I was like, how the fuck is this happening? And then I realized he was the one that owned it. But yeah, he got arrested like not too far from here, driving on railroad tracks, high as fuck.
Wow.
He was drunk and on cocaine. And then he played basketball here at UCF. Yeah.
Man, that's funny, man.
Yeah, man.
Dude, staying with LeBron, just real quick, he did. This week he scored 50,000 points, or recorded the 50,000th point. And
it's fucking crazy, bro.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because for those of y'all LeBron haters out there, Steph Curry, who is arguably the best shooter ever,
does he lead the NBA in threes all time already?
I think yeah.
By a lot,
I think
right?
he's been
by a lot.
That.
Yeah.
Steph Curry this week also scored his 25,000th point.
How old is Steph Curry?
36. So he's 4 years behind LeBron.
He's been in the league for 15 years?
Yeah, so he'd have to go and redo his entire career again.
15 more years.
Yeah.
So LeBron in 20 years has done what's at stake. Steph done half of that in 15.
As
a prolific scorer.
That's
not to take away from
scorer.
Steph.
No, Steph is phenomenal.
Steph is prolific scorer, all time, greatest shooter of all time. Has changed the league.
Changed the game.
Because I would like
change the game.
If you want to talk about LeBron, I don't even call it a knock, but I would say Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball at the women's and level, men's level, at the collegiate, high school, whatever, intramural level, across the board. LeBron didn't do that with his style of play, right? He dominated the NBA. Steph has changed the game as a prolific all-time scorer, and he has half the points.
Points, bro.
And that's not, and Steph has a lot. That's more of an like to me, like an indictment of how good
it's just
LeBron
how great LeBron is.
It's just fucking insane.
I tell you, and I always tell my kids, man, I go, you're not going to appreciate LeBron until he's done playing.
It's like what we do with Jordan now. Like, I know I do this too, where we compare, we get into the arguments of like Jordan over LeBron.
Yeah.
And I think at his peak, at the best game to the best game, like Jordan was just like a fucking spectacle to watch. Like you were just like jaw dropping, just insane. Take over games like thing. I think the knock on Jordan, I think long term or mine, I haven't seen Jordan in his prime and haven't seen LeBron in his prime. I would say that Jordan not being available, I think really affects it for me later in his career. Like Jordan retiring early.
Remember, he retired twice.
Right.
And then he came back twice.
And he came back twice. But I think, bro, can you imagine if Jordan took care of his body the way LeBron did and Jordan played till he was 40? Like, I don't know.
I don't know what that would have been.
But I think that's what it is for me. It's like, I don't know. Either would we have seen a Jordan where we're like, bro, please walk away? Because that's what we saw most of the time, right? And that's probably what we would have seen. Is a Jordan where at 36 we're going, bro, just stop playing, right? Because, dude, I think we have... And this isn't to speak ill of the dead, but Kobe in his last few years, Kobe wasn't Kobe anymore, man. We were like fuck, man, like
right. He still had flashes of
right. He had games here and there, right, and then he had the Achilles, and it was like, I can't go out like that, right, and so he almost did a whole another year to sort of like play because he didn't want to go out.
Yeah, almost to prove to himself that they could still do it.
But even leading up to that injury, we were kind of like, man, fuck, Kobe's done. Like, wow, what a run, but Kobe's done, right? And
how old was he when he retired?
Late 30s, maybe.
So he wasn't even 40.
No, it's so fucking rare. He passed at like 40, 41 or whatever. Like, it's like right. It's so rare, so hard, and to be dominant. And he had been retired for like what 3 or 4 years by the time he passed. You know, like.
And LeBron at 40 is still top 10 in the league.
Yeah, it's like I think you have to give that edge, and I didn't say that edge. I think it has to be considered with LeBron, where you go, dude, he's played at the peak till 40, where Jordan was like 30 retiring. You know what I mean? Like, and I go, I don't know that if Jordan played 10 more years, we would have seen a peak Jordan. I think we would have seen a Jordan where we're like, fuck, man, you should probably like just walk away. I don't know, maybe. Because then he played with the Wizards, right? After being gone for 3 or 4 years. Like, I don't know. But I mean, like,
remember, he retired in like the mid-90s.
That affects his legacy to me, man.
And then he came back. But remember, man, he did a three-peat. He took a year off. He came back. They went to the playoffs, but they didn't win. Yeah. They lost. And then he did a three-peat again.
Yeah. And then he retired again.
Then he retired again, and then he came back with the Wizards. Yeah. I don't know how old he was when he retired. Those at least that second time.
Dude, I bet you he was in his mid-30s.
But when he came back to play with the Wizards, like definitely not the same guy that retired the second time.
Dude, when he retired the first time, he was. Oh man, I want to say he was maybe even in his early 30s, because he retired for the third time in 2003, right?
Yep.
But the second time
was probably maybe like 98, 99.
Yeah, it was 99.
99. Okay.
Because he had just won that 98 right NBA title. Wait, was it? He said he would not play. Well, he retired. He won the 1997 or 97-98 championship. So he won that 98 ring that summer, I guess would be. And then he didn't come back after that. And he returned in 2001 was when he came back. So he walked away for 3 years. But he was...
how old was he when he walked away?
I want to see retirement. I want to say age. Dude, I bet you he was 35. When he retired from basketball for the second time in January of 99.
And then when he came back 3 years later at 38, he's not the same.
Yeah, not the same. So you figure at 38, he played, 2 more seasons, I think, with the Wizards.
Something like that.
So 38, 39, so he before 40. And he was nowhere. He had flashes. He had a couple good games.
Yeah.
He wasn't the dominant. And again, and some of that has to do with the fact that he walked away and came back, right? You can't leave the game that far at that elite level.
And the testament to LeBron for keeping up with his body the way that he does.
But I think that should be part of it. And at least for me, I think it's because I saw it, right? Yeah. Like I saw what Jordan did to his body, and Colin Cowherd says this all the time. Availability
is the currency, bro.
Right, and it has to be considered, right? Like, and I know people will say, "Well, Jordan was 6 for 6 in NBA Finals." It's like, okay, great. So are we going to discount the fact that LeBron went to like 10 in a row? Like, are you really going to go because fucking Tom Brady went to what 10, 11 Super Bowls?
I think 10,
and he lost 3. Like, are we going? Yeah, well, Brady lost 3. No, we're going. That motherfucker won 7. Like, I think like
I said, Brady lost to the Eagles the last time, right?
He lost to the Eagles and he lost to the Giants twice.
Right? That's right.
So you just go like, and Brady also didn't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Like, has LeBron ever been part of a team? I know with the Lakers probably once. In 20 years, probably once didn't make the playoffs, maybe twice.
Yeah,
right? Like
it's something like that.
Yeah, I go. That has to be worth something. Where you go in 20 fucking years, you do that. Also, and there was a span there where you could have put LeBron on the worst team in the NBA, and you would have taken him to the conference finals, on whatever conference he was in.
Listen, man. Let me quote Shannon Sharp. SGA, PGA, USA, Lakers in 5.
Let's go. Let's go. Especially now, those motherfuckers are on fire.
Yeah, but you got hurt.
Yeah. Let him sit out. Fuck it. Let him sit out. Just get the top 5 seed in the West, and then let him be healthy for the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yo, how we doing on time?
Dude, we're at hour 13, man.
God damn it.
We've been going in, bro. I want to see. There's one on here that you had that I felt like we had to touch on. Oh, but before it gets old, you want to touch on this Zelensky shit with the thing, or what else you got?
No, man. No. Tell me about the black baby.
Oh, because we were talking about the in vitro and the in vitro shit before, bro.
Let's finish off with this one.
Oh.
Because I feel like this is going to be funny.
All right. So it's going to be funny for some of us.
Hit it.
So this woman, she launched a lawsuit against her fertility clinic because when her baby was born, turned out the baby was black. She had IVF. Her husband is not black. And so they did what you were talking about before, his sperm, her egg, and they went through the whole thing. They were excited. They had a baby. Baby comes out. Baby's black. So the clinic fucked up.
This was not Dr. Charles.
This is definitely not. Should have gone to Dr. Charles. I don't even know if he's around anymore doing shit. But this is in Georgia. Her name is Christina Murray. So she's suing the fertility clinic after unknowingly carrying and giving birth to another couple's baby. So they implanted the egg and the sperm. Yeah. Because remember, they combine it and then they go, so they put the whole wrong thing.
Fuck, bro.
Yo, but also, if you're this lady and you raise this baby and he turns out to be Anthony Edwards, are you still pissed? Like, yo,
it's not such a big deal anymore.
Your baby could be some dork ass white kid or prolific NBA scorer. Which one are you picking? I feel like if she sues and wins, they should be allowed to claw back if, like, 18 years from now, this kid's in the NBA.
And they're living like a lavish lifestyle.
Actually, we did you a favor. They're kind of like Chick-fil-A. Like, you know how Chick-fil-A, they tell you what you... Like, if Chick-fil-A fucks up your order, I just assume that, no, that's what I should have ordered in the first place because they're just so good at what they do.
You're like, man.
Like, nah,
I must have said that shit.
Yeah, like, this is what you wanted. You wanted a Raekwon. You didn't need another Chad.
Now, I wonder, man. So, I wonder if they fucking mixed up. Like, did they give their shit to somebody else?
Oh, so there's a black couple out there with a white baby right now. And maybe but what if it's a mixed couple and they just assume it's their baby?
Dude.
Oh, yeah, because there's got to be a fuck up boat going both ways, right?
If the kids don't look... So, like mine. I can take mine, for example.
Yeah.
Like, my two boys, they look like my wife and I.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But... what if you have that kid that just don't really look like nobody?
And the whole time you
just like...
Yeah, yo, this motherfucker's off. Yo, and then if you don't like him...
Be like, yeah. I was just going to say that. I was going to be like, I don't even really like this little motherfucker.
He can't be related to... We all got that relative. You're like, this motherfucker don't belong here. Your mom cheated.
Yeah. You'd be like, man, look at you, man.
You don't belong here.
You don't look like nobody. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That was me. You know they was looking at me sideways.
You know.
On that, tell them where they can find us.
At the Carbon Footprint Podcast on IG, YouTube, Facebook, at Carbon FE Pod on TikTok, X, and all your favorite audio platforms and smart devices, man. Tell your Alexas, tell your Googles, Audible, tell your Gemini, JioSaavn, Ghana, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and leave a review. I think Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure you leave a review. That helps get us up the algorithm. And I can't even fucking talk right.
It's all right, man.
It helps get us up the algorithm and show up in more searches and all that. So that's the best way you guys can help us. I get people all the time going like, hey, how can we help you guys? The pod, man, I don't know about it. Yeah, tell your friends about it and just leave the review, leave the comments, interact on social, even if it's an old video. You know, just go in there, leave a comment, like it, whatever.
And as always, we appreciate you guys. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.